We should get to Sherlock. Tell us about the chemistry between you and Benedict. I think Mark Gatiss said that that the way he played Sherlock changed after you were cast. I'm feeding you here.
Ben is very, very good at his job. He's brilliantly cast in that role. And something happened. Some little game of table tennis happened where we were just knocking it back and forth. It was obvious in the room. I'm not saying it was obvious it was going to be this thing, but it was obvious we worked well together, yeah. But I didn't, you can't anticipate the reaction it's going to have. But I knew I was proud of it.
For you personally, and I know that this is something you've been working towards for a long time, how great a sense of just relief was there to finally announce who Doctor Strange was going to be?
It was, well, the relief for me always...
excitement.
Well, the relief and the excitement always comes when we actually get it. When we announce it, sometimes it leaks, sometimes we don't announce it for a while. And by that point, I've gone through all the emotional journey. So when it's announced, it sort of is what it is. But I will tell you that actually getting him was a huge sigh of relief for me.
Just know how important that character's been to you for so long, and it's been one that you've always kind of mentioned as...
You're right. It's been 10 years. What else? Yeah. Someday. Guardians was the answer to that question for many years, too. But there's, a matter of fact, Scott Derrickson and executive producer Stephen Broussard and much of the production team are on a scout as we speak for that movie. We start filming in November. And Benedict is sort of unbelievable. And he also, by the way, is, for as excited we were to get him in the picture, he was that excited to be a part of the picture. And he comes in and looks at some of the early artwork and he's like a kid. I'm like, you're the star of the movie, you know. Okay, hold on, slow down. He turns into a fanboy.
So working with Benedict Cumberbatch, it's not the first time you worked with him. And you know, of course, that he is a very popular actor.
Very popular, I know.
Any insight of what it is that makes him so popular?
I have no idea. I mean, like, he's a wonderful, wonderful actor, but no, it's kind of hysterical. Like, it's reached a sort of fever pitch, hasn't it? I mean, he's a very old mate of mine. I've always thought he's a sensational actor. He is the actor that I know who has worked the most out of absolutely anyone, and I think all of the mates and all of the people sort of within the industry kind of knew it was really only a matter of time when it was going to hit, or the fact that it was going to be Sherlock. I don't think anybody could have guessed that. But no, he's a very lovely guy and a very, very good actor. So I'm very happy for him.
Working with Benedict Cumberbatch and Elizabeth Olsen, would you like to state how these experiences were?
It was great working with Benedict Cumberbatch because he's so prepared. He knows the material inside and out. He's thought of options to give you for the performance, to try something different in take 2 or take 3. He's interested in exploring the different aspects of the meaning of the lines, and he really offers possibilities to a director. And you appreciate that when you get in the editing room and see all these wonderful choices that you have.
I'm impressed by Benedict Cumberbatch's performance, as per usual. How did you get his American accent up to scratch?
Well, you know, Benedict's accent in this film was a point of some discussion between him and I, because I said to him, you can't do a Southern accent because the real character is Southern. He's from North Carolina. Okay. And, you know, it's such a specific and difficult accent to get. I said you should just do a generic American, they call it, you know, which is like a sort of, you know, a New York accent or whatever.
Yeah.
But Benedict met with the real man, met with Stuart Couch, and was so taken with him and his extraordinary accent that he said, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that exact accent. So he recorded lots of the real man, and he had a dialect coach on the set who would say to him, no, that's not how he says it. He says it like this. So yeah, he put a lot of effort into making it as specific as possible.
And I always thought, because Benedict Cumberbatch to me is always like Sherlock or Alan Turing. So at the start I was like, oh, but then as it went on, I completely believed him.
Well, you forget who he is. It's the problem with actors, isn't it? That you bring your associations of previous things that they've done. Yeah. So in Benedict's case, it's all about Sherlock or Doctor Strange. People have that in their head. So he starts speaking in this sort of North Carolina strange accent. They're like, what? But yeah, I think he's so good. And I think what's really interesting for Benedict was that he's playing a role of a man whose politics he doesn't agree with, because Benedict is quite left-wing and Stuart Couch is a Republican. You know, he's quite a right-wing person. He's a judge. He's a military guy. And I think Benedict found that really interesting, actually, playing somebody whose political approach he doesn't share.
What do you think you learned from watching Benedict Cumberbatch do a slap attack on Dominic Cooper in Starter for 10?
And if you've got something to say to me, you say it to my face, all right?
Oh, yeah, of course. The windmill.
Spencer!
What did I learn from Benny Boy? That grotesque is funny. That you can be a serious actor and you can be a funny actor at the same time.
Excuse me, but we're trying to do a quiz here and it's against the clock.
It's got to be done sometime.
This man has been sent from the offices of University Challenge.
Was Starter for 10, which is a movie that I think it's impossible not to like. It's one of those...
I think so, and nobody watched it at the time. It's one of the best reviewed movies I've ever been in, and nobody went to see it at the cinema. I know.
It's also full of people that have gone to do amazing things, including yourself. James Corden, casually in that one.
You're not going to turn into a wanker, are you? What?
Rebecca Hall, Alice Eve, the list goes on.
I know.
Hope that's not an alcoholic beverage in your hand then.
But yeah, it was a really good time. And the fact that we've all gone on to do great things since is secondary to the fact that we all felt really close and together. And, you know, you don't get that a lot. We got it on X-Men. But that's probably the two major times I've had it that strongly, you know.
We know he can play clever, and he brings all of that. I mean, I love it when a performer brings with them their sort of identity from their previous work. I mean, he's kind of recycling Sherlock here and taking it somewhere else. I suppose in a way, he would probably not say this, but he brings all that Sherlockness to Strange at the beginning, all that arrogance and, you know-it-allness. But then he morphs and transforms and becomes a better man.
Tell me, as a woman, what's it like being so close to Benedict Cumberbatch?
As a woman, would you like to share?
Well,
as a woman.
As a woman asking.
Oh, you as a woman.
Yeah.
What's it like being so close to him? You mean when I'm physically close to him, do I get the shivers?
The Cumbers, Bumbers, Wombers.
Do I want to lick him?
The thing is, the Benedict that everyone sees is a little different to the Benedict we know. The real Benedict is like, I know, I'm Benedict. He talks like that, and he's very ungainly, and he's what I call dyspraxic, which means he can't dance and he can't sort of like physically move himself. But you switch a camera on the guy, he becomes this super sexy, lithe Sherlock, super intelligent. It's like cut, and it's like, was that any good? And you're like, oh, Benedict, someone's going to see that, and they're going to know. So after a take, Benedict will be shepherded into a small room, and he's just kept there. And we tell him he's there for, I just stay there, Ben, we'll be out. We all go and have dinner and stuff. And he just sits there, like, playing with his, we've got a little toy, it looks like a Rubik's Cube, but it's simpler. It's like four, not 6.
Oh, God, Simon.
So the Benedict that all the girls love and stuff, it's a myth.
I would have thought that girls would love Chris Pine as well, do they not?
I do love him. He's almost a bit obviously handsome, if that's a thing.
I love that Chris is actually too handsome to be handsome.
You're too handsome for your own good, Pine.
Benedict. Whereas Benedict is like, if I tried really hard, maybe I could get
he's attainable. Is that what Benedict feels? You know what I think is with Benedict? I think it's because he wants to have a family. I think that's what gets women as well.
He's giving off those pheromones.
I don't think Chris gives off those pheromones.
Chris wants to have lots of family. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I'm literally going to pee my pants. Benedict wants to have, Benedict wants to have a family, and I think that's what women respond to, is that I think the thing about him is he will actually be a good dad and a good husband. I think he'll be loyal, and I think he'll be caring.
Yeah,
so I think
like
women respond to that.
Benedict, the thing about Benedict is that he is, in all seriousness, he's such a delightful
Let's not
human
do that.
being.
Everybody knows it.
That he's a delightful human. Yeah, he's an idiot.
You set me up with him. Can you explain that?
Well, haven't you gone in to meet him?
Yeah, but he didn't ask me out, which was a shame.
I'm surprised about that, to be honest. Truth be told, I'm actually, with a face like yours, surprised he didn't ask you out. Maybe we could circle back and rearrange that meeting.
I think is he...
Singulare?
Singularis?
I wouldn't know.
I know him and Martin Freeman were tight for a while.